Hopefully, this is a short video about the scope of knowledge. So, you have private knowledge that you don't necessarily want to share, but you want to have it be really easy and accessible and searchable. And you have public knowledge, which is published out to the world that you're going to be held accountable for in one way or another. And something I've discovered over the last few years of doing all of this is that it doesn't matter that middle ground space where you think you might be able to publish your knowledge that is also your real-time knowledge. So this, you take a look at here, right? You'll be held accountable for it either way. And I've learned this the hard way. So the answer is, in my opinion, either keep it all private, and there's lots of great opinions in the chat right now. Keep it private and keep it searchable and keep it messy and unspell checked, and don't publish that. And if and when you're ready to publish it in a format that's better, whether it be make docs or something, but a website of some kind. And that's where static site generation comes in. And of course, if you're going to publish to a book, you need to have even another level of editing going on. And this is really important. So keep your private thinking private, and keep your public thinking curated and public and managed and deleted. And it means the problem with having public knowledge is that as soon as something's public, you should take the responsibility of taking down that content if you don't believe it anymore. If you have an internal private document, Zettelkasten document, I can show you. You can go to my Zettelkasten right now. Please don't, but it's going down. I'm taking this down. I've taken this Zettelkasten up and down several times, made it public and then made it not public, and now it's going back to being private. And the reason for that is because there are things in here, not only are they personal, but there are things in here that I no longer believe. And I did this with the sort of naive assumption that people would see the Zettelkasten content and they would be like, oh, this is just him thinking in real time. But just like anything, as soon as it hits the web or any search engine and it's available to somebody, they're going to hold you to it and they're going to think it's real. And the unfortunate side effect of this, and this is the reason I started publishing my dynamic second brain thinking in my Zettelkasten, is that people can no longer get an insight into what you're thinking while you're doing it. And I now believe that I may have been wrong to say that people who have something to say should be more likely to just share in a loose way what they have to say. So there's an eternal rule here that I'll repeat and make another video about at some point, but the more likely you are to hear from somebody, and that includes me, the less likely you are to want to hear what they have to say, because they're going to be spending time publishing, they're going to be spending time marketing, they're going to be spending time thinking of great clickbaity titles, and doing whatever it takes to get you to see what they have to say. And they're spending more time on selling their approach and their content and pushing themselves out. It's like getting your name out there, as they say, right? And they're not spending that time, like I'm doing right now. They're not spending that time actually working with AsciiDoc or writing code. They're spending time making a stupid video about it. So the reason that I started publishing my content here the way I have, my live real-time thoughts, is I was hoping, and I now believe, wrongly, that you could publish your private thinking and that people would, see it and benefit from it and maybe go look at it and maybe come create their own opinions, maybe do their own research. And you would be putting yourself out there, but you would do it without impacting the amount of time it takes you to actually be a subject matter expert on the topic. So you could say, oh, hey, look at, Rob just found this other thing. Ooh, I want to go look at that. Right? And then they would go look at it and make their own conclusions instead of just like follow you every single thing you have to say. And because the same sort of people who are making content that's valuable, they are less likely of anyone to actually make a blog that's been really well written out, that has multiple steps, that's been edited and everything. They're not going to make that. They're too busy wanting to do whatever. They want to write code. They don't want to make a blog about writing code. I'm not going to throw certain sites under the bus, but I promise you, if you look around, there's plenty of people who will blog. People watch video shorts. That's another thing. That's a great point. People are not into that. They want their 60 seconds of, quick bites, right? TikTok is being heralded as the new education site, right? Because in 60 seconds, people are trying to teach major concepts on things and they're doing it at hyperspeed because, the dopamine is going to kick in and they're going to move away and look at something else. Look, I don't make the rules. I'm just here to report on what's going on. And right now, people do not. If they read a blog, usually it's because they want to see the steps and they're digging in. Most people don't though. So so I'm not publishing my thoughts out there. I'm just going to go ahead and put it either into a blog or a formal website. So the recommendation, if you zoomed all the way to the end of this video, here's what I recommend you do. I recommend, based on this is what I'm doing, and you can do what you want, but I am no longer, I've already talked about this, but I'm no longer going to publish my Zettelkasten. I am, however, going to keep notes in Zettelkasten form that only I can see using my own system. And I'm not going to buy a service or use Obsidian or any of these other things because I don't like them, honestly. And most of those services are not compatible with AsciiDoc, which is how I'm going to be writing my books and my blogs and everything that I do want to publish and I do intend to publish. But the thing that's great about that is if I use AsciiDoc on my own private Zettelkasten, I can go in there and copy and paste sections of it out, and I can bring those sections in, and I can compose a blog, an article, a post, a book, or whatever. Really great thing about AsciiDoc and Antora is you can actually compose together multiple GitHub repos into a single site. So you can actually break stuff down and organize it in a better way. And I'm going to focus more on making sure the stuff that gets public is actually polished. The downside of that, very obviously, is that there will no longer be any real-time thinking available for Mr. Rob, other than my YouTube and TikTok and Instagram shorts and Twitch shorts. So shorts like this isn't a short. My shorts are pretty damn long, but this is going to be the closest thing to a Zettelkasten. And it does mean that I'm going to make a video tomorrow about why I'm making my Zettelkasten public again, as Bellum loves to say, because I changed my mind. And it's okay to change your mind. And if you're going to talk about changing your mind, if anything, a YouTube short is ephemeral. You can actually say, look, you only get to see this once and it's going to go away. You can still do that with shorts and TikTok and stories and stuff. You can't do that with a Zettelkasten entry. It lives forever, right? So that's where I'm going with it. Hopefully that's giving you some food for thought. If you want to know the exact technologies I'm going to be using for web publishing, stay tuned. I'm making videos on that. But number 1, AsciiDoc. Number 2, Antora. And yes, I'm going to be writing books using those technologies, as well as searchable websites using those technologies. My Zettelkasten is going to go to private. And if you want to see what I'm thinking about any particular topic, you're going to have to tune into my YouTube or my Instagram or even my TikTok at some point. That's how we're going to do that.